Welcome to Bon Jovi Discussions. And today I have my friend Colleen from New Jersey, who's been on the podcast before. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Good. For those that don't know, right now it is currently 6:51 in the morning. And Colleen and I, we were just talking that how we're both morning people. And today I am just wrecked because obviously
Mhm.
we're going to be talking about the chili cook-off here. And we drove 8 hours and drove 8 hours last night. So we didn't get into like 2 in the morning. So like I'm like got like 3 hours of sleep and my alarm went off this morning. And I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, well, Colleen got up early. Colleen skipped the gym to do this for me. Colleen's getting ready right now. So I'm like, I have no choice here. I gotta get up.
Aw, thank you, though. I appreciate that.
That's okay. But I got my JBJ Soul Kitchen
Oh,
mug.
nice.
Let's
Nice.
do a little bit of advertising for the Soul Kitchen. There we go. And
It's a
it's
great
actually
event.
I can't tip it over right now because it has
It's
coffee in it.
full.
But yeah, oh, you can say the orange rim. For
I
those that
like
are
it.
listening on the Apple podcast or Spotify that's to come soon, there's orange, so it's like a fallish looking mug. They like I have a blue one, I have a yellow one, I have an orange one. And I was asking my wife yesterday, I was like, which ones do I have? Which ones do I not have? And my wife's like, the collector that you are, you got them all. I was like, oh. So, but anyway, thank you for coming on. And just kind of like what we did last, how I did it last year with the review of the cook-off. We just start from the beginning to
Yeah.
the end. So for me, like I said, it's a 7-8 hour drive, and my wife and I debated on just flying in Friday night,
hmm
and just with my son and timing and logistics, my work, it just didn't work out to fly, so we just drove. And I hate those long drives, but I was like, it's worth it. Now I know you're in New Jersey, so how long of a ride is it for you?
You're gonna hate me. It's like
Oh,
35 minutes.
I hate you already.
Yeah, I live in South Central New Jersey, so literally it's 35 minutes. And actually, it's funny because I drove that same drive twice yesterday. My son, who has autism, he lives in a residential home in Toms River, and I bring him home on Saturday. So I drove
Oh,
to Toms River, picked him up early, came back, and then went back. But yeah, it's only about 35, 40 minutes. No, not bad at all.
so I know you came in late
hmm
before me, so I guess I'll start my story. Well, let me make sure.
Sure, yes.
What time did you get there?
I got there about 11:30.
Okay, yeah, I'm going first then.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely. I This was my first time actually going. Every single year it falls into something where I'm actually away, and so I was really happy that I didn't have any plans outside of the state, this week. So this was really my first chili cook off.
Yeah, so I did my first one was last year. So my I'm a funeral director, and so like I'm on call a lot of those weekends.
hmm
And last year and this year, like the Jovi gods were just looking down on me, and I had those
hmm
weekends off. And I was like, I'm definitely doing it. You know, not just because John's there, but because you get to see Bon Jovi friends, and I love road
Yes.
trips and so on. We'll get into all that. But
hmm
anyway, so yes, I was lucky to go. We left Friday night, got in late. Excuse me. And so Saturday morning, I've been a Bon Jovi fan for 23 years. When you have to camp out for things, I know how Jovi fans think. We're
hmm
crazy. We love this band. And so last year I did the same thing, but we showed up around 8. Eight,
Wow.
I know. Well, I'm glad I did because I remember last year, and the same thing was this year. There were already Bon Jovi fans sitting in their cars and stuff and waiting because the Soul Kitchen they'd start setting up around 7 in the morning.
Okay.
I think that's a little too early. 8.
hmm
I know 8 is a little early,
hmm
but I'll get into it here soon. You want to be that early because of luck.
Yeah, location. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And any Bon
Mhm.
Jovi fan that's listening to this right now, they're like, location matters and timing.
Mhm.
And so I'm no rookie here. And so, we sat in our cars. We got there. I saw some other Bon Jovi friends sitting in their cars. Let's wait because they don't have the barricades up, and they're still trying. The Soul Kitchens, who are great, great, great people. The staff, the volunteers are all so nice. I was like, let's just let them get the barricades up, and then we'll go claim our spot. So about 8:30, 9 o'clock, they get the barricades up, and I saw some other fans starting to get out of their cars, and I told my wife and my one buddy beside me, and I was like, it's go time. So I want to back up for a second too here, I guess. And so we were looking at the weather, and the reason I'm saying this is because when in our car we got our we got
Mhm.
like 4 ponchos, 3 umbrellas, a couple of chairs and stuff, just to kind of share with everybody that's around us. And but my point is, we were looking at the weather all week, and like we were like supposed to get like New Jersey's supposed to get like this huge storm,
Mhm.
and so every day I'm like, oh God, it's gonna storm all day, and John may not come, or I know the one
Mhm.
year that it rained, John didn't do any meet and greets, quote unquote,
Yeah.
with fans. He just kind of got on a fire truck and said hi to everybody, which is still something, still cool,
Yeah.
take for what you get. I was like, well, that's probably what's gonna happen this year. John may not do photos or anything at all, which is fine. That's we'll get into all that here, I guess, in a second. But thankfully, it wasn't raining too much, and so anyway, so we got our umbrellas and went and claimed our spot. And obviously, in the Bon Jovi world, a lot of it's no secret. 90% of the people that are going to these cook-offs are diehard Bon Jovi fans. Okay, and so you and I know, and the
Mhm.
listeners that are listening to this right now, they know how dedicated we are, how tight knit of a group we all are, and so we know everybody, and it's
Mhm.
great. And so, like, right off the bat, I knew people and new friends, and just got to talking, and next thing I know, it's time to start to cook stuff, so those hours went by really fast. But anyway, so we went and claimed our spot probably by 9 o'clock, and I actually had a kid. I say case. I'm
Mhm.
he was probably 30, but he came up to me and he goes, "Hey, I listened to the podcast and thank you for doing an episode last year for how things work at this cook-off." And then so that's another reason I wanted to do another episode, just because people like to listen to this and kind of get a grasp of how it works, how things are broken down, blah blah blah. And so I made friends with him, made friends with some new people. Obviously, hung out with some friends that I've known for years. Um, but yeah, we just kind of camped out, and like the weather was so bipolar. Like one
Oh
second
my
it,
goodness.
it was raining, pouring, it was chilly, windy, and then the dark cloud would pass, and then the sun would come out. And it was hot. I was wearing a hoodie, and I would be sweating to death. And then 5 minutes later, it'd be chilly, and the rain would come again. And I was like, Jovi gods, this is the and so, but thankfully the weather did hold. We'll get into the whole John thing here in a little bit, but for the most part, weather really held out. And I think the Jovi gods, they were looking down on us. They're like, you know what? You haven't had a Bon Jovi event since April of 22. Let let's
Exactly.
let's be merciful to you today, and let you have a good day. So I joked with my wife. I said, we need to go to church and pray this morning. Let's keep it on doing this. So I guess that leads into us, or you come in
Mhm.
11:30.
Yes. Yeah. So as I said, I had to get my son. He only comes home once a week, so I really wanted to get him. So again, like you said, with timing, I guess I couldn't get there early. So I said, listen, I'm just gonna, play it by ear and just go and just have a good time. And that was it. So my friend Kelly Murphy, who you met, she's kind of like my partner in crime. For all these events, we've gone, to probably about six. I'm a late bloomer when it comes to the runaways. I said, I had, a lot of obligations. So, until my son got a little older, I wasn't really able to do a lot. I went to every concert that was here in the area, but I wasn't able to travel. So I was pretty new to the whole runaway tour thing. So, as I said, she came. We got there about 11:30. We were kind of around the corner from you. So I said, oh, let me just, I said, here, stay here. Let me just go see. I can see, find Jerry and see if anyone else is up there. So that's when I got there. But um, it really was very well organized. There was enough, for when I got there, at least there was enough parking spots where, you weren't walking like, 3 miles to get there.
Right.
But yeah, we were kind of around the corner where, behind the tents over there.
Yeah, you brought up a good point too. With there's a lot of parking there, so that, you don't really parking.
Yeah.
The Soul Kitchen's on a corner of a plaza, and it's a big plaza.
Hmm.
You have Dunkin' Donuts, which we all
Yes.
visited. Um, but there's plenty of parking, and I want to back up just a little bit for a second.
Sure.
So when we claimed our spot right in front of the barricade, there's probably maybe 10, 15 fans at that point. Always takes the one fan for other fans to get out of their cars and go.
Hmm.
But I would say probably by 9:30, there was probably at least 50 or 60
Wow.
fans. So when you got there at 11:30, how packed do you think it was for you?
I would have to say probably, I don't know, like 300 maybe, because you guys had a large crowd. Like I didn't really even see what was around the corner, and they were further up too from you.
Yeah,
So I would have to say at least, I'm not very good at numbers, but I would say at least 300, 350
yeah,
around.
that's what I'm thinking too. Because I think by the time the event, because I think someone told me, one of the volunteers, I think they said that they pre-sold. This is the first year of the
Yeah.
sale for the tickets, and I think they said they pre-sold 500 tickets,
Oh yeah.
something like that. So
Yeah.
there was at least 500 people, and then there was also people that didn't come or didn't order the pre-sale ticket that bought the ticket there.
Hmm.
But so for people that have never been there, they have a barricade all the way from the back side of the Soul Kit, because the Soul Kit's on a corner of the plaza in
Hmm.
Tom's River, and it wraps around the side and it goes all the way in the front, and then it closes off on the other end of the Soul Kitchen to whatever retail space
Hmm.
is next. Yeah, so by noon or so, there was a lot of fans
It
there.
was.
And like 90% of the crowd was Bon Jovi fans, because everyone's
Oh,
like in a Bon Jovi shirt, and everybody knows everybody, everybody's saying hi to each other. And that was another great thing about doing this event, was because you see all your Bon Jovi friends, and friends that you see every year, every tour, every runaway trip, or every Bon Jovi event. And that's what really makes these trips special, is being able to spend, that time with them and just wait. Like I said,
hmm.
we started camping out at 8, 9 o'clock, and we're talking with friends the entire time. And before I knew it, it was already almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, and so I remember they did things a little different this year, I think, just to kind of save on time, because last year John didn't show up. The event was from 1 to 4 last year, the same as this.
Right.
But last year John didn't show up till 1 o'clock, and he was taking
Oh.
pictures with the fire department, because they left the fans are outside of the barricades. Inside the barricades is the fire department set up in tents and with their chili. And John showed up a little after 1 last year. Took pictures with the fire department, took pictures with fans, and then before, I think like around 2:30, they started to let fans in, because
Hmm.
John was well off down the line, that fans could finally come in. And rightfully so, because if you let fans in while John's in,
Oh,
fan
that's it. It's
yeah, and we'll get into that shortly. But yeah, so this year we kept waiting and waiting and waiting. There was this guy, and I know you've probably seen him. So last year he came as a fan, and this year he was a volunteer. I don't mean any meanness. I don't. It comes from a place of love.
yeah.
No judgment. Everybody was. It's clear we're all waiting for John to show up.
Right.
You know, and this guy, he looks just like John, the same age,
Yes,
the white
yes,
hair, the same
yes.
style, the same physique. And he would like keep popping up in different. He was volunteering this year. Last year,
Yes.
he was just as a fan, but this year he's volunteering. And I remember like some fans like would start to scream, John, John, John. Like he would start, like this guy started to get irritated. He's like, I'm not John. I'm like, in my head, buddy.
Well, you had the same haircut.
Yeah,
listen, it fooled me for like a half a second.
yeah,
And I'm like, wait a minute, because he did. You're absolutely right. He
yeah,
fooled me for about a half a second.
yeah. And the guy is really, and so like I said, I'm
Mhm,
not
mhm,
judge. I'm not putting him down for it.
mhm.
It is what he's a nice guy.
Yep.
I he helped me find something yesterday, and he's a nice guy. But yeah, so like a lot of people kept thinking, "Oh my God, there's John, there's John." Like and people start to scream, and they're like, "Oh, that's not John," you know. And then he popped up, "Oh," and then that's not, But anyway, so John actually showed up at 12:30, which I wasn't. I was
Yes.
expecting kind of the same 1 o'clock
Mhm,
routine, whatever. And but no, John. So John drives through the back and then goes through the back of this little kitchen, comes through the front doors. And as soon as he came out, obviously you hear this big, huge roar, and you're probably
roar.
thinking in your
Yeah.
head, "Oh, it's that guy again." And
Mhm,
it was John, and I think he was wearing like a purplish t-shirt or whatever.
mhm.
His white Keds, I think those are, and stuff. And he waved to everybody, and then and I thought this was cool. They had a Takamine guitar there. It wasn't the EF 341 SC that he usually plays on stage. It was I think the G series of the Takamine. The guitar people know what I'm talking about. But John signed it, and I guess the one volunteer, the Soul Kitchen, told me that that guitar was a dressing room used guitar on tour that he would practice in his dressing
Yeah.
room before the show started. So I told my wife, I said, I gotta give it a shot. And so I think you could put a route. So every $10 you got one ticket.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. It's for a good cause. Even if I don't win, which
Yeah.
there were so many fans there and a huge line for fans to put a ticket. I was like,
Mhm.
chances are very, very, very minor. But I was like,
Don't tell me you won. I'll drive down there and beat you up.
you didn't see my post?
No, I didn't. You
I
won?
no. I just
Oh,
wanted to
come
get
on.
you
Don't
amped
do
up
that
for a
to
second.
me. You got me.
I did. No, but I still had to give my shot. And
Mhm,
so I put I got a few tickets, and I said, you know
mhm.
what, I'm probably not gonna win, but it's still I'm
Yes.
going for a good cause. And I'd beat myself up if I didn't try at least.
Mhm.
So I did that. And oh wait, we're talking about going on. We didn't even get to oh no. I'm still waking up here. I'm so sorry.
That's
Okay, so anyway, so John went to the guitar and signed it because they had it on a guitar stand. And he signed it, and then I remember, and we'll get into this a little more in a little bit.
Mhm.
I remember fans started to scream, "John, take a picture! John, take a picture!" And I'm thinking, man, chill, guys. He'll get to us. But anyway, so they had tents set up, and right before John showed up, it poured. And so I wondered if John got there a little early and was just waiting for the rain to stop, which was great. And they stopped when the sun came out, and the sun just held out for an hour or so. And we'll get into when it started raining again. But they had what I would say four tents on the one side and probably two or three tents on the other side.
Mhm.
That obviously
Yeah.
used the overhang of the plaza to set up. And it's kind of fun just to. I sound like a weird creepy stalker saying this. And I don't mean it like that, but it's just kind of cool to see John in a different light.
Mhm.
Just walking around being a normal person. And I'm like, that's the guy that wrote all these incredible songs that have impacted my life. And this is my favorite singer,
Mhm.
the the front man of my favorite band. And here he is just walking around. And so it's kind of cool just to watch that for I think he went around and he'd go to each tent, him and Dorothea,
Mhm.
and they give you a small little cup, and so you take a little spoon and you probably get two bites out of it, so you get a sense of the
Mhm.
chili. And he went to, like he does every year, he went to each tent, tried the chili, and then would take a picture with the fire department. And for people that don't know, so each tent is from the local first responders around the area, EMTs, the fire departments, police. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody else. And so John would go around and make sure everybody, um, John make sure he got to everybody. Uh,
Yeah.
and so what do you think that would probably took about what half hour?
Yeah, half hour, 40 minutes, I would say.
And so do you have anything to say about that before we get into the whole fan thing?
No, I think I just I guess my experience on being on a little bit down the line, like you said, the weather was bipolar. When I got there, it was bright and sunny. Like, okay, I don't need the umbrella. Look at the sky, it's great. And then it's downpoured. Went back to the car, got the umbrella. Like you said, it was just crazy how the weather went from bright and sunny and then downpouring, and even to the point where you remember, Jerry, that gust of wind, like literally took the
And,
the tent and flipped it over, which was a little scary because there were so
yeah,
many people there. So yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and so when John was going through, obviously with the so
Hmm.
I'm sure the line of fans probably was about half a mile long, if not longer.
Yeah.
And so obviously there was a part where the tents, you have the tents here,
Hmm.
a bit of space behind, and then the fans, there's a little bit of a line. Wasn't too long, but like maybe like 4 tenths worth. But their fans, and they got like really good like photos of him, like because it was kind of hard for us because I was off to the
Hmm.
side and
Yeah.
I could see him in the tents, but it was dark and stuff, and a lot of people were surrounding him, because he's Jon Bon Jovi. And but no, a lot of people posted on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, photos of him, videos of him, like, and so that was kind of cool. And
Yeah, I was able to, like, where I was, there was a little bit of a hole between the two tents. So there were a few of us with our phones, like trying to get a photo with him. Like, with Dorothy and taste testing the chili, which we did. Not great pictures, but pretty good. Pretty
yeah,
good.
so those little cracks and
Yeah, literally cracked
Hey,
where
Judd.
I'm holding it and then she holds it.
Yeah.
Us crazy fans just to get one little glimpse,
I know.
crazy.
And you know what's so funny too is you look at the soul, and like I said, everyone there was so nice. The staff,
Mhm.
the Soul Kitchen staff, the volunteers there, the responders, the police, and they're all looking at us in a good way.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're like, these guys are just crazy. And like we're just like having the time of our life watching John taste chili, and these guys are
I
like,
know.
"What's
And
wrong
not
with
only that, for you, I don't know. I've met him a few times, probably not as many as you, and I still start shaking a little bit every
yeah,
time. Like, I
yeah,
don't know why. It just, I
yeah,
don't know. The adrenaline just gets me.
exactly." Yeah, and I know the feeling. It's like you can't believe he's there, and like you're hoping the
Mhm.
weather. And so at this time, he's under the tents and stuff, and I started seeing this dark. It went from like sunny, and I started seeing this dark cloud.
I know.
Like
Exactly.
right when he's about to greet the fans, and I'm like, oh, please, just another
No.
half hour. And so John finally came up under the tent, and he was. I've loved the guy for 23 years, so I think I can say
Hmm.
this. He was moody, and
He was a little, yeah,
yeah,
a little bit.
he wasn't having a good day. I mean, he was. I don't want people to listen to this get the
Yeah.
idea. He was really personable with everybody. And we'll get into the fans here in just a second.
Hmm.
But responders, the staff, the volunteers, the fans, every single person, John made sure he at least said hi, took a photo, signed something. So, and we're gonna get into everything here in just a second, but he was there for probably 2 hours, making sure he got everybody.
At least,
Yeah,
because when we'll talk about, but he was still there, after everybody went in.
yeah,
So.
exactly. And so when he got out of the last tent and stuff, you could tell you and I, we know when he's moody. Okay,
Hmm.
he was moody. And
Hmm.
oh boy. And so there was fans, and before I get into the whole fan, every single fan there I think was very respectful compared to last year. I think it was kind of more calm this year, but there were some new fans that never have done these and stuff, and I think we're very excited, and I get it. And
Yes.
so when I say what I'm about to say, I come from a good place and no judgment. I get it. They're excited. I am too. but there were some fans that as soon as John came out, like they were like begging John, please, 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 please take a picture. And John was like, I'm gonna get to you guys. I'm gonna get to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me go over here. And like, John, please, real quick. And then John was like, I'll get to you. I'll get there's videos
Yeah.
online of it. And you want to be like, he'll get to you guys. He's gonna get. I think people were just
Right.
worried, and this is why I'm coming from a good place from it, because I think people were just worried that the weather was gonna start pouring because we're getting this dark cloud, and I think we
Mm-hmm.
were worried. Oh, great! He's not gonna take pictures now because it's gonna pour. He's just gonna leave because he was done with the first responders portion of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he actually so when you face the building, to your left was all the chili, and then to your right, on the long side of the building, was actual just regular food that they made. They pulled pork talk. We'll talk about the food here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
He actually bypassed all of that and went at the bottom of the back corner of the building and started meeting with the fans. And so we were just watching him and stuff, and he was taking he took his time with every single person. He made sure that he got the people in the front, people in the back. He would sign something, he would take a photo with something. And as he got down the line, you could tell he was starting to get irritated, what rightfully so, because fans were bringing, and there were some autograph collectors too, coming in and wanting to get this sign that, and it's like a stack of different things, and
Mm-hmm.
you start hearing some of the, Darren was there, Lou was there,
Yes.
John's crew and some volunteers, and they're like, guys, one item, and it's like kept,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would, John wouldn't sign something for them, rightfully so. I I, I want to back up for just for a second. I think as a fan, I think you got to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm still waking up here.
Mm-hmm.
Conservative. You
Yeah, you can't be greedy about it. You get
That's the
what you,
word I'm looking
yeah,
for. Yep.
yeah.
You've got to say, okay, you know what? One photo and an autograph. Even that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
pushing it a little bit, two things, but at the same time, it's like it's understandable. But when you're starting to get two, three, four, five things,
Right,
come
right.
on, there's hundreds of other fans. The weather's not good. John is truly just powering through this. He just wants to make sure he gets everybody, and just wants to get it done in a good timing. And so probably by the time he got to the fans, he got there at 12:30. He was
Mm-hmm.
probably greeting fans one or a little after one. And so obviously we weren't able to get into the cook-off, which, let's be honest here, no, at that point people just cared to meet John, so
Yes.
complaining. But I remember him coming down the line, and he's starting to get a little irritated with people because they're like
Mm-hmm.
wanting this and this sign. People who were down here are now moving further up so they can get something else signed. And John's pretty good. Like he remembers faces, and so like
Yes.
he signed for you. And so I remember him telling fan, no, I already signed. And
Mm-hmm.
and he was nice about it. But what I really liked though was like he would take people's phones and he would do the
I
selfie.
love that. I love that.
I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, and I wish I had done. We'll get to my part here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did you meet him before or after me? Just so when I'm coming down
I think I was like right before you,
okay.
literally.
So I'm just kind of going in order.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
after the tent flew?
Yes.
Okay, so as he's coming down the line, the weather's starting to get really windy, and
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden the tent that was the right of both of us just flew in the air. It wasn't raining yet, and it just picked up and
Yeah.
flew.
Yeah.
And I remember like John stopped everything he was doing and made sure everybody was okay. And one of the staff
Mm-hmm.
just gave him the thumbs up, and he went right back into the autographs and
Mm-hmm.
photos, and you know, um, and so you get that. Then it started to rain a little bit. Like, oh God, here we go. He's not gonna. And what do you know? He kept going. Darren and Lou and John's whole crew got umbrellas, covered him up and stuff. And I think somebody gave him a black hat. And so he put that on, and then he told the guys, don't worry about the umbrellas. Just let me wear the hat.
Yeah.
And God bless him, he just kept going, even though it wasn't like a heavy downpour. Maybe he would have waited that out, but it was just like a steady rain.
It was like 2 minutes, really. It wasn't really that long because I was worried.
Yeah.
Because I had pictures I wanted him to sign. I'm like, oh no, my picture's gonna get ruined because of the rain. Like I was,
So let's get into,
yeah,
since you were before me,
yeah,
let's get into your
yes.
experience.
Yeah, so again, I think it was a really good experience. Like you said, he took the time, he took people's cameras, he went through, and as like you said, he was coming up to us. People were trying to be, too greedy. And he said, no, no, I had enough. So that happened. He literally said that right before me. And I'm like, shit. I had my friend Kelly who was with us. She was in charge of pictures and I was in charge of autographs, just so we make sure. So I had my first picture with him ever from the runaway. I thought that would be special for me. And my friend Kelly's the same thing. So I gave it to him. Then I picked it up and, he signed mine and then he did there. And my friend Kelly just took some pictures. So the one disappointment, I really would have liked the selfie, but like you said, I was happy with what I got. We came there, we got what we wanted. We saw him, we had a great experience. We met with people. And I was happy because one of our other friends had the maracas from the Nashville show that we both were at. And
Yeah.
I was so thrilled that she got them signed. So I was happy for her. I was happy for me. I was happy for everyone. So
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot about that. And that lady is so sweet.
she's
We
the
actually,
sweetest.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she put those in front of John, I think that kind of lightened John's mood up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, because she goes, you recognize these, and John goes, oh yeah, you know. So I think that kind of lightened them.
Yeah.
But and I don't want to give the wrong impression of John because John was truly great. He gave so much time to everybody.
He did. He
He was
absolutely
just,
did.
I think, in a mood that day, and he knew he had so many fans to get through, and fans were kind of being greedy and stuff. So he was in every right to be, a little.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a lot. It
Yeah.
is really a lot. But he did not cheat anyone
Nope.
out of the experience, right? And it's not like you spent a lot of money to, for that experience either, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. 20-30 bucks
What?
at
Yeah,
from.
exactly.
And so before we get into my story, I want to ask
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
excuse me. So I know a friend captured a photo of you with,
Hmm.
which I actually loved it. I
Yeah.
saw it last
Yeah.
night. I was like, and I was saving it to my camera. I was like, oh, I don't know if Colleen has seen this, because we're all in
Yeah.
such a big group
Hmm.
where we know each other. We try to take each other's photos and stuff,
Yeah.
especially like the off the cuff photos, And I was like, I wonder if Colleen knows about it. And I was about to send it to you last night. I was like, oh wait, she's tagged. She'll see it. And then
Hmm.
and so John's in the background. He's posing with somebody else, but he's like the JBJ smile.
Yeah,
I,
yes, I
I
loved it.
love that
Yes,
photo.
and you got my big smile.
Yeah. So my question for your experience was, what did you get signed? Do you have it with you?
I got my first runaway picture, right? So you have to understand my first runaway was, oh my goodness, was in Las Vegas. Oh my God, I think it was 2018. Was that the 2018? That was my first runaway.
Okay.
So I dressed up like I was going to the prom, right? Like hair, makeup. I said, listen, I'm getting my first real picture.
Rightfully
So I
so.
took that, yeah, and I took that picture, and that's what I had signed because that was my first runaway. It was the first time I actually asked them a question. I got picked to ask them a question at the event, and then I had the picture. It was like the perfect weekend. So
Do you have the signed photo with you?
I I have it if you want to. Yeah, it's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah. I know I have it right here. What's it?
Oh, Colleen is great.
Should have had that, but it's early in the morning.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure people are watching it. I love seeing other people's autographs and stuff that they
okay.
got.
I don't know if you.
Oh, look at that. That is.
So you see me, I'm dressed like,
Yeah. You
So
look
that was my
great.
favorite. So that's what he signed.
Oh, there's the autograph.
Yes.
Awesome. That is a
Yes,
cool.
that's my favorite picture. So I got it in 8x10, and now I'll go and have it nicely framed.
Yeah, that is awesome. I love that photo.
Me too. That's my favorite photo.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to say about your experience?
No, the one thing I just say about the experience is that, like you said, he took time for everyone. Now I had gone out, and he was still around the corner, signing autographs and taking pictures well after that, right? And
Yeah.
I even went over there. I said, "Oh, maybe I can get a selfie now," right? I guess, being a little bit selfish and greedy. But
Hey.
then the officer, he's like, "Listen, did you have your?" I'm like, "I did, but I never got a real, selfie." He goes, "No," he goes, "He's really done." I'm like, "You know what? He's done.
Yeah.
I got what I needed, and
Yeah.
that was it. I wasn't like a real, a hole, and did
Yeah.
anything."
And I definitely don't let me forget. I want to touch up on that. I'm kind
Hmm.
of going in order on
Yeah.
here, but don't let me forget it because I want to talk about that. But I guess we get to my experience. So, like I said, he
Yeah.
was a few friends in between us. And it's so cool to see my Bon Jovi friends getting their stuff signed in photos and just seeing everybody
Hmm.
so happy, like watching John interact with fans. That's another cool experience about this is seeing John because John really doesn't do a lot of fan interactions. They've
Right.
never done meet and greets on tour. The only way that you can really get a photo with him is through runaway tours, which is great. I've done a
Yes.
few of them. And so to kind of see John in this light is so different, something that we don't really
Hmm.
ever get to see. And
Hmm.
it's kind of cool just to sit back and watch your friends and see your favorite singer just kind of interact with each other. Everyone's so happy. And so finally it got to me. And my wife wanted a picture, and I was like, I'm gonna get you a picture, blah blah. Blah.
Hmm.
But she's like, you know what? Things are crazy. John's kind of done with this, and John's just powering through. And so my wife was a troop. She's like, you know what? Just get me. And I was like,
Hmm.
she's like, I'd rather you get what you want. And so she's the best.
Hmm.
So shout out to my wife who's snoring in the
She is. She's
other.
wonderful. She knew the drill. She knew the drill.
Exactly. And so John came up to me and right off the bat, hi Jerry.
Yeah,
And I just wanted to hurry
I
and get
love
my.
that.
So
Mhm.
I had a real dilemma on what I wanted to get signed this time,
Okay.
and I was like, I always like to get my album signed because
Hmm.
that's why I love this band so much is because of the music. And I almost went with Lost Highway because it's my favorite album, but
Hmm.
like not I don't want to sound greedy or selfish or standoffish here. But the collector that I am, I probably have, I'm not kidding you, probably 300-400 autographs of stuff.
Yeah.
I have a lot of signed CDs and stuff, but like I'm
Hmm.
all about personalized items. And so I asked him if he could sign it to me, and it let me back up.
Yeah.
So I almost went with Lost Highway because it's my favorite album, but I already have a full band signed album of that. And I was like, well, which album do I not have signed? And I was like, you know what? The band's greatest work of all time. I went with These Days. And,
Nice.
and
I
so
love it.
I don't know if people can see, like, to Jerry, and then John signed it.
Hmm.
And he took somebody's black marker and just kept using it, which was fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sign
Exactly.
would sign everything in black Sharpie. And I actually had a silver Sharpie
I
on
did
me, and I
too.
wanted him to sign in silver over David over Tico's coat.
Hmm.
And I saw that he said, "Hey, I'll sign it." And as he's grabbing it, he had the black marker, and he was going to, and I like this is all happening.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh no, no, no! I want him to sign in silver." I was like, and as soon as I was about to say something, I was
Hmm.
like, don't be that fan. Just
Hmm.
let him sign. Don't be. So I was like this close to say, "Can you sign in silver?" I was like, "Better not go that route." And so, but no,
Yeah.
it actually turned out better than I thought it would with black Sharpie.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. I had a silver as well because I thought that would look nice on. Yeah, but that really looks good because it's light. Where mine was a little darker, but and I had the silver, but like I saw he had his own, and I'm like, listen, I'm getting what I'm getting, so I
Yeah.
was really happy with it.
Yeah, I think him having to interchange markers and every second
Yeah.
counts. By the time he got to me, we're probably into 130 now or around.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and so anyway, so he signed it, and as he signed, I said, this album is such a gem. And John, chuckles and goes, I know. And then I told him
Hmm.
like my favorite one, and I told him this song's a real gem was Hearts
Hmm.
Breaking Even. And I think he thought I was going to say something like, this ain't a love song or these days, something
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
cliche.
Yeah. Hmm.
These to back up just for a second, these days is more of a diehard fan favorite. If you go to Joe Schmo, they're gonna name you like Slippery or New Jersey
Yeah.
Crush. You go to these days, most
Mhm,
people don't know that album, but
mhm.
fans like because it never really did well in America. But fans like us just absolutely love it and know it's truly their best work that they've ever done. Um, and so I think he was kind of surprised that I mentioned a heartbreaking even because he kind of goes, yeah. And then he goes, thanks, Jerry. And then we pose for a photo and then
And you did a great picture. Lovely
yeah.
picture.
See, I kind of beat myself up over it yesterday because I look a little fat in the picture because it's at such a weird
Oh,
angle.
the angle.
Yeah, and like my eyes are
You're
squinted, makes your face puffier, and I'm like, but I'm not gonna beat
you're
myself.
worse than me.
I well, I used to be heavy. I
Of
weigh 160 now, but I used to be 250, and so like I had like this, and that's
course.
just so I'm kind of hard on myself when I take pictures.
Mhm.
It was just at a weird angle, and I'm like, you have the barricade, you have all these fans, and I'm gonna get
Right.
in just a second who are
Mhm.
packing you in, and you don't have really much room to kind of pose. And my wife took the photo. I kind of wish I would have just had him take the picture, because then it
Mhm.
turned out better. But I was like, you know what? It's
We'll
the
have another time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've met him a ton of times before. This is just a fun experience. I got my vinyl
Mhm.
signed. And so anyway, so John gets to the next person. My whole experience is probably maybe 20, 30 seconds, if that.
Right.
And the whole morning before the event started, I had a lot of my Bon Jovi friends around me and stuff. And then I was like,
Mhm.
as soon as John gets through me, I'm getting out of your way. You guys can move up.
Exactly.
As every single fan should. If you're
Right.
in front, you get
Step
yourself
back
signed.
and let somebody else in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some fans wouldn't do that. They would just wanted to be
Mhm.
as close to John as they could. I was like, but you're wasting an opportunity for another fan. And John was
Mhm.
pretty good at making sure the fans in the back got to go through. Anyway, so fans would move their spots and would wherever John was, they'd get in the back of the line and try to push their way through. And so we all had a game plan. So I started to turn, and all my friends were like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm getting through there. Thank you, Jerry," and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And I was like, all these I don't want to say crazy, but all these fans
Mhm.
pushing me to get to John. I'm like, guys, I am literally trying to get out of your way.
Mhm.
So you can come in. Just give me a second to get out.
Right.
And I I got worst husband of the year award because I left
Mhm.
Rachel behind. I thought she was
Uh,
right behind me. And so I'm like trying to get through because my wife was just trying to get out. She
I
wasn't
saw that. Yeah. I saw she
gonna,
was
so
irritated. Yeah, because
yeah,
she got
so
stuck.
yeah, and so I'm trying to go back into the crowd and trying to get her out. And I'm like, guys, she's clearly not trying to get anything. She didn't ask for anything. She actually gave her time up for somebody else.
Mhm.
Sweetheart that she is.
She is a sweetheart. She
Yes.
is a sweetheart.
And so, but anyway, so she finally got out of the I like to call it the
Mhm.
mosh pit, and so and then so at this point, I'm celebrating with other people. Like, hey, what'd you get?
Mhm.
And what's your photo?
Yeah.
Everyone's just happy. And I remember I saw you like
Yes.
a couple minutes later, and so this is about 1:30, and then they started to let fans in. And they gave us these bad boys. So
Yes.
as I was saying
Yeah.
earlier, this is the first year that they did the pre-sale. And that morning they were going through the crowd and saying, hey, do you have
Yes.
pre-sale and getting bracelets on early? Because I think it's so time consuming. Because
Mhm.
fans in at like 1:45. And John's got a whole security team around him now. And so they let fans in while John's still going through the barricade with people. And you could tell like some fans were still trying to go up to him. The fans that went in
Yes.
were the fans that
Yeah.
John already met with. The fans that were still waited at the barricades. And fans were still trying to go up to John. And like, you know, the guys were like, you already got a photo. Let John get to other people and stuff. And like people are like,
Mhm.
starting to pack in. Like, guys, just
Yeah.
and my wife and I and Bon Jovi friends, we all just started to enjoy the cook off. We went to, sign up for the guitar
Mhm.
and stuff. And let's finish the John segment
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about the actual cook off because the cook off itself deserves time.
Right. Sure.
Um, so John went down the line and one of I won't name names here, but I was talking with one of the crew members and right before the tent starts with
Yes,
um oh the chili and stuff.
yes.
They said that Jon, like at that moment, just like had enough, and they thought he was going to quit right there, and he actually just kept on going. But I guess there was like this guy, and I never saw it, so
Hmm.
I try not to judge or say
Yeah.
bad because you didn't see it physically. But I guess there was this kid who kept going through the line and trying to give Jon like a demo of his music,
Oh,
and Jon was like, "No, I don't want it," or something like that.
yeah,
Fans are giving him gifts and stuff,
yeah.
and like John's, put yourself in John's shoes.
Yes. How many things? Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
you know where that stuff is going.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
not going
going in the
home free.
garbage. It's going
Yeah,
in the garbage. Yeah.
exactly. And so fans are like trying to give him stuff, and it's not the time and place.
No.
And like I said earlier, continually fans
Hmm.
kept trying to get this sign and then that sign, and then they moved down the line and get more stuff signed. Like it took Jon probably an hour and a half to get through all the fans. And
At least, at least.
I give him so much credit because that was a long time, and
It
he
was
just
a long time. And I don't know if you saw around because
yeah
I got in, I did all my chili stuff, and I said, okay, I said, I'm going to get going because I came there for what I wanted. I saw
yeah
my friends and all that stuff. And I said, it was around the whole tent and he was still going.
yeah
And that's the one thing I appreciate. Like I thought, like you said, where the tents, butted up, that there was no barricade. I said, there's no way he's going there because it's dangerous. He's going into the crowd. But they, I guess, had moved the barricade so that he was on the other side, so he wasn't
yeah
being, there. And he went through the whole thing all the way and then all the way around. And I was like, that's so much time. So that's why I say an hour and a half, maybe it was even 2 hours, because it was even after, I had said goodbye to you, that he was still signing things.
yeah. And I'll get to that part in just a second.
Yeah.
But the same fans who got photos already, who got an
Yeah.
autograph, and I get it. Some fans just weren't happy with their photo. No,
Yeah.
John's fault, not their fault. It's just weird angles and stuff. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get you want to get another photo, but at the same time too, like even me, I was like,
Hmm.
it's not my best photo with him, but I'm like, you know what? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the fans that were there have met him before. Like
Hmm.
me, for example. So
Yeah.
but these fans were trying to get more stuff signed, more photos, and blah blah blah. And like I said, Jon was kind of, I didn't I get you already, and
Hmm.
his crew is pretty good about that too. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so about closer to 2 o'clock, we were tasting chili, and I remember I was talking to some of my friends, and the crew was there, and they're like, "Hey, John's coming through," and and so there was like all these police officers, and I remember only you and I are gonna know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. But like on the side, they had like these darker, fallish looking barricade, it's like a wall
Hmm.
essentially. You can't,
Yeah.
see but you can see John through the cracks. And we're just there enjoying the cook off at this point.
Hmm.
We know that John's still around, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to approach him again. I had my time. I'm going to
Yeah.
look off. It's cool to see John still there, but there were fans who were, so you have building here, the
Hmm.
barricades here, and then the wall here. And he was on the other side of this wall here. And to build in here, the wall here, he was trying to get through this little spot. And then that's when he was done with everybody. He got to
Yeah.
every single
Okay.
fan. He was taking pictures with the police officers. And then I remember some of the crew telling because other fans were just trying to follow him wherever he went, and the crew was like, "Look, he's done.
Hmm.
He went through the barricade. He got everybody."
He did more than enough,
And people
honestly.
like, "Please, please, 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 please," and then John pops up, and my buddy, and I saw John, and I
Hmm.
was like really close to him. I was like, I'm not gonna get in his way. I'm not gonna ask for anything.
Hmm.
And the crew knows me well enough,
Yeah.
some of the other people that are around me, that we're not gonna attack
Hmm.
him. So
Yeah.
thankfully we didn't get pushed away. We just kind of I
Yeah.
stepped back,
Just step back. Yeah.
and then John came through, and he was really nice. He was, you could tell he was tired, And I remember my one buddy said, thank you, John, for taking the time. And he gave John gave that big JBJ smile comment, and
Yeah.
just waved to everybody, and they walked him into the building.
Hmm.
What do you know? Fans are going in the Soul Kitchen
Trying
now.
to go in, trying to follow
And
him. Oh.
I guess I heard he went to the bathroom, and there's fans camping out, and like the crew is, I know you guys gotta go back out. And
Hmm.
it was just it was chaos. And I've been saying this since last year. I think moving forward, I truly do not see this happening much longer.
Yeah.
I think John does appreciate everybody coming, and so, because at the end of the day, we all are there supporting the cause. Most,
Right. And
and
it's an amazing cause.
and this
Amazing.
kind of goes into why I think this needs to change a little bit, because some of the people that went there didn't actually have a ticket to get in, nor were they
Right.
going. It's
Right.
thing happened last year, and then this year, people are going for their photo, not actually donating, not supporting the cause,
Hmm.
they just leave. And so, what I really think that they should start doing, and this would help with the weather,
Yeah.
this would help with organization, this would help with people actually supporting the cause. Have John in a tent or inside of the Soul Kitchen, under the sign or something.
Yeah.
You just organize a line, and people have to pay for their ticket, come in, have a nice,
Yeah.
kind of like a runaway trip where you go in.
Yeah.
It's John's discretion, the team's discretion. Do an autograph and a photo, or just one or the other, or just a
Yeah.
photo. And
Hmm.
you go in, you get your photo with John, and then you're out and you're enjoying the cook off.
Yeah.
And I truly think that would solve
They might. Yeah.
it would solve the weather problem. It would solve the barricade madness.
Hmm.
Fans getting second of something, like you get a ticket, you give your ticket, and then that's your photo. That's your time with John. And I think moving forward, that's what they should do. Uh,
Hmm.
or another thing that I see happen, and I know it's better than nothing, but I think it's kind of suckish, is John is just gonna pose, in front of like a whole group of people. He's gonna stay away from them,
Yeah.
pose, and then go a few feet,
Right.
pose a few feet, and be done with photos in 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
said he
know,
went over and beyond, right? Because
yeah,
even on our runaways, he really doesn't sign things very often. Maybe once in a while he'll sign somebody's arm so they can get a tattoo or whatever the
yeah,
case is. But he was so over generous with his
I
time
know.
yesterday between photos and that, because I even reached out to you. I said, does he sign things? Because this is again my first time. And you said, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah,
I just think, yeah, I think you're right. The Runaways is very very organized. It's like 3 seconds, boop boop, that's it, right? And you're done, right? You get what you want. So
exactly.
I agree with you. I
You
agree
said
with you.
you said it perfectly. The when they this is the eighth annual chili cook off. And so when they first started doing these, not many fans would show up. And then it got word
Mhm.
that John goes every year.
Yeah,
And so fans are now flying from
yeah,
different countries or different states. We drove 8 hours. And my reason, I don't go just for John, though. I go because I get to see my Bon Jovi friends.
yes.
Obviously, John's like the best part of it, but there's also other great parts. You're supporting a cause, you're
Hmm.
with your friends, and it's a good time. Um, well, I was going to say something there. But so I think moving forward, I think the Soul Kitchen is really realizing how chaotic this is getting every year.
Yeah,
And I truly think, next year they're
we
gonna
might see
have
some.
do something different, and hopefully John doesn't stop. I don't see that happen, because I think John really does enjoy meeting the fans. I just think it has to be done in a more organized, unchaotic
Right.
way.
Hmm.
I want to say it one more time. John was absolutely, truly great with every single person.
He was over and above, right? He spent the
Everybody,
time. Everybody got something, right?
yep,
So, and he spent until the last person in line.
yeah.
He stayed.
It took him almost 2 hours to make sure he met everybody, and that was
Hmm.
just so amazing to see. And
Hmm.
he didn't have to do any of that. He could have just waved to everybody and said thank you for coming and left. No,
Hmm.
he stayed and powered through. So,
Absolutely.
um,
No, it was a great day. And just before, it was funny. You were talking about the weather. It was pouring, so I have my umbrella trying to save my photo.
Yeah.
And right before it gets to us, it stops. Right? It
Same,
stops
same thing,
dead.
yeah.
It stops dead. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Drop the umbrella, just make sure I had everything all ready for him. But it was like you said, the Jovi gods were in our favor at
I,
that moment.
I know. I told my wife we gotta go to church this morning, and we're not church goers, and won't get into
It
that
was nice.
deal. But I was like, I feel obligated to go to church this morning and just
It
thank.
was it was perfect. It was like as soon as he got right close to us, it stopped, and he took his hat off.
Yeah.
Right? But did
Uh,
he put it back on?
let me look at my
I
photo.
know he took it on and off.
Um, yeah, no, my
He still
photo.
had it on? Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
because I remember him taking it off and then saying, "Oh, maybe his hair's messed up now," and he must have put it back on.
let's see. Yeah, yeah, in my photo he has it on.
Okay, so he did.
Yeah, and so well, let's get into the actual. I know you had to go.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about your experience first, and then I'll kind of give
yeah,
my timeline of things, and that'll kind of wrap things up. So I'll let you go first.
yeah. No, I just think it was for my first chili cook off. I think it was great. Now I know I have to go there a little earlier, right?
Yeah,
This time it didn't work out, but I'm going to be one of those diehard fans. There, by 8 o'clock, so I have a better spot because I didn't have a great spot. Turned out I had a good spot, but I really didn't. So you got to put the time in, to get what you need. But I was thrilled with it. I think it was a great cause. Like you said, I tried to put in for the guitar, like, oh, maybe one of these days. But I guess I didn't get a call, so I guess I didn't win.
no,
But
they announced. I'll get
they
into.
announced it was there. Oh yeah, did you
Yeah,
was the person there?
no, they weren't. They left.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
anyway, so I tried, and that's it. I'm just really just happy. Again, like you said, it's about him. Was still, but like I was so happy you were going, and
yeah,
Rachel, and and Mark, our friend, and others, so that we just give a hug because we haven't seen each other since probably, like you said,
yeah,
April of 22. I'm just really looking forward to 2024. Right? What's coming out? Like there's
yeah,
so many hints out there, right? So let's,
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Tico said yesterday in an interview that they were.
Yeah.
It's no secret they're
Right.
recording.
They've
We
been saying,
know this
yeah.
for months now, and but it's nice that Tico's always the first one to spill the beans
Just
on.
spill the beans.
And so, if you want news, you ask Tico. Yeah, so I remember you said goodbye to me. We gave
Uh-huh.
each other hugs, and you had to
Yeah.
go. Was there anything that you else you wanted to say about your experience before I get into mine?
No, I think that was, I think it was wonderful. I had an amazing day. And like I said 100 times already, JBJ, he took the time to meet with every single person on that line that came. And like you said, it's off-putting when someone doesn't share or you donate to it, because that's what it's about. And that's why I did the guitar, the food and everything else that goes along with it, because the organization that they have is amazing, in New Jersey and other places that he has. So it's great to just support it.
Exactly. And I think one of the other great parts about, and just to kind of touch base on it one more time, is being with all your Bon Jovi friends and
Yeah.
just talking about. I mean, I was talking about 2024, our favorite albums, our favorite songs,
Mhm.
uh, the whole Richie thing right now,
Yeah.
everything, and showing each other photos of meeting them in the past.
Mhm.
And it goes beyond that too. Like we start talking about other things like our home, our personal lives.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, so I think I said bye to you as we were kind of
Mhm.
starting the cook-off event, and my wife was hungry at this point, so she was ready to eat, and so we started put our tickets into the guitar, and I was like, I know I have a side guitar already, but uh, but we started walking around with some friends, and then we started tasting the chili, and every single state. I can't do spicy chili, so there was really nothing
Yeah.
too spicy. Maybe a little bit of a kick. But I'm more of a sweet chili guy. But I think there was probably 8
Mhm.
tables of different fire department,
Yeah.
police, and EMTs with their chili. So we went to all those. You get a little cup, a little
Hmm.
2 plateful, which is enough. But I would say my absolute favorite, and I wish my
Yeah.
brother just have time, so I can't remember the names, but I'll remember right after this episode is recorded. But I'll say the best one was Ocean County.
Okay.
I think that was Ocean County Fire Department or Police Department. I can't remember which one.
Hmm.
Forgive me. And then Rutgers was pretty good too. I think
Yes.
Rutgers
That
Police.
was number 8.
That
So
was number 8.
I put in for number 8. I did put in for
Okay.
number 8.
So that was your favorite, was number 8?
Yeah, it was. But I like number 6 because Ocean County was right before it. Ocean City, whatever it was. Yeah. So it
My
was between the two.
my wife helped me. I hope she put my ticket.
Hmm.
I put my ticket in, but like I didn't
Hmm.
know who was what and stuff. And I told my wife I liked Ocean County the best, and so she put
Yeah.
my ticket in the bin. And so it took me about maybe 10 minutes to try the chili and stuff. It's pretty
Yeah.
quick. You get in line, try the chili, go to the next line, try the chili.
Hmm.
And I remember who was I think it was right by Ocean County. If you're facing them to your left, it was the very last.
Yeah.
That Rutgers Police.
Yeah. Rutgers was number 8. There may have been 9, but I know they were close to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a really cool Bon Jovi shirt. They had like the smirk and dagger on the back.
Uh-huh.
Have a nice day logo with
Yeah.
the dagger through it. And I forget what it said though, but it was pretty cool. Like I wanted to buy a shirt like that, they made it themselves. And they had the Soul Kitchen inside blocked off so you couldn't go in.
Mhm.
It was like a kind of
Right.
for people to kind of cool down a little bit. And I was talking with, I know a lot of the volunteers,
Mhm.
and so I was like, is there any problem to go in real quick and get a photo under the sign? And so they let me,
Yeah.
which was nice. I know they let a few other fans as well, but they, for some reason this year,
Mhm.
had it closed off. Um, and I even told, I say, if John is still there, I don't need to go in right now. I can just wait and
Mhm.
he leaves. And they said, no, you're fine. And my goal wasn't to go in and see John. My goal was just I wanted to get a picture.
Right. I know you love all the pictures.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm all about pictures. So I went in for a little bit, and then it was kind of nice because it was nice and quiet, and some of the crew was just trying to relax. And
Decompress a little, right?
yeah, I think that's another reason they had things closed off, is because they just wanted to relax. And right by the Soul Kitchen too, they have a pantry. I wish I would have
Mhm.
gotten this earlier. So my wife and I, we brought 2 or 3 big bags of
Mhm.
donation food. And so people that go next year, bring some donations, because they'll tweet off a list of what you can bring,
Mhm.
and that really goes far for people who really need it.
Absolutely.
Families who are hungry and need the food.
Mhm.
So there was crew in there, going through, sorting through things and all that. And so we went back out and we started trying. Like the chili is not enough to really fill you up, at least.
Yeah.
Um, and so I tried. They have a new soul seasoning coming out. It's like with cilantro and lime. It was so
Mhm.
good. Like this.
It was good.
Yeah,
Oh.
one of those like really nice volunteer. She was so sweet. She's like, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. You're gonna love it. And I tried it, and boy, was she right. I can't wait. And then I asked her, will this be for sale? So she goes, oh yeah, you can come to our store anytime. I'm like, I live 8 hours away. I'll order it online. Because we had the other soul season in here too, and we put it with everything. And but anyway, so we ate. They had pulled pork. They had
Mhm.
chicken tacos, which is where I use the
Mhm.
cilantro. Um, what else do they have? I know last year they had ice cream, and so
Uh-huh.
anybody that knows me enough knows how much I love ice cream. So
I know.
my buddy and I, we were on the hunt down for it, and they didn't have it this year. But after that, we went to the merch stand, because the profits from the merch also support the
Mhm.
kitchen. And I am actually wearing this.
Yes, I see it.
I had to,
Very nice.
and I like the blue.
I like the blue. I like the color. It's
and
really
then on
nice.
the
Oh, I like
back.
this. Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
look at me modeling. But actually, I have last year's shirt beside me, so it's
Interesting.
pretty much the same design, but this one's gray from last year. And so this is the back usually, and,
Okay,
same logo, except it just says 7th annual, back says 8th annual.
okay, very
So
nice.
the collector in me just has to have them. And that's that. Um, well, they had mugs, but I had all the mugs already. And the soul seasoning, they got some cinnamon honey. So we got a jar of that. Because I don't know if you've ever had it there, but the cinnamon,
No,
oh, take a drive today and get some. It's amazing.
yeah,
Little jar, but it's so good. I like to put it with my pancakes, or Rachel gets something that you could dip in. I don't know.
hmm.
And so we got one of those, and then we got a little tote bag, and so
Oh, very nice.
$50-$60 later, but all the proceeds, support the Soul Kitchen.
Right.
I don't feel guilty.
Hmm.
um, and then we just kind of enjoyed time with friends. It was nice to see other people and talk. And before I knew it, it was already almost 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then so 3:30 they start to they had some live. They had kids singing, which was great.
Yeah, it was fairly
Did a
nice.
really good job. They had a guy singing on guitar, which is really good. Um, and then so 3:30 they start to announce winners of the 50/50 raffle.
Hmm.
Um, the guitar, and the guitar. A lot of fans were just like waiting for the guitar winner to be announced.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, you know, and they announced the winner. And it's funny, they do like a basic tickets in JBJ Soul
Mhm.
Kitchen, and there's probably at least hundreds of tickets in there. You know what tickets
Yeah.
pull out?
The first one.
The first one, the JBJ Soul Kitchen ticket.
Oh my goodness.
And she's like, "Well, we can't win it. We got to give it to so they had to redraw."
Oh,
But talk about odds there. And but I forget the girl's name. I didn't recognize the name,
yeah.
but they had her phone number. They told you put your phone number on just in case you're not gonna.
Yes, that's what I did.
And
Yeah,
so they probably called her, and she probably freaked out, and rightfully
I
so.
would have.
So I'm working on hunting her down and taking that guitar from her.
Hey, listen, when you're on a mission, you're on a mission. I
Like,
wanted to say what was something that was really funny. I went to a concert at the Art Center here, and JBJ Soul Kitchen was there, and I always stop by. They always have like a little tent or whatever, and I got to spin the wheel, and I was so happy. I got the seasoning. I'm like, they're like, you're so happy, but I'm like, yeah, the seasoning's really good.
yeah,
So
and
I was really happy about it.
yeah, and I forget how much it is. We order
Yeah,
it once a year, but it's enough. All you do is whatever
yeah,
you
a little bit. Yeah.
just a little
Hmm.
pinch of it, and you put it when you're cooking, and that's enough.
It's
And,
delicious. I do.
yeah,
I really enjoy it.
it's really good. And so, but yeah, so then they announced the winners, and I was paying attention, and I knew it was gonna slip.
Mhm.
I forgot the first three. Do you know
The first what?
the winners for the chili?
No, I don't know. I
I know.
left.
I
Yeah.
I think who won last year won again this year.
Oh, okay.
I can't. It was a police department. I know that. I
Okay.
feel so bad. I forget the names and nothing. But they were all great. And then after that, everybody just started to leave. And here's me still talking with friends and stuff. They're tearing down and stuff, and so we went to Dunkin' Donuts and talked for a little bit with some people and some really dear friends. And we probably hit the road 5:30. Didn't
Oh
get home
no.
until 1:30 this morning, and then
You're a
slept.
trooper.
I know, but yeah, overall, it's such a good time. Just
Yeah,
being.
it was a great day.
Yeah,
Really.
it's more than just seeing John, because like
Yes.
it's amazing too, because you see all the people around the barricade, and there's hundreds of people, and then when you actually get into the event, it's not as
Mhm.
many people anymore, which is sad
Yeah.
because like.
Yeah, right.
And John is pretty much greeting you because you're supporting the cause.
Yes, right.
That's why I think they need to do.
I think you're right. And I did. I mean, I went in and I made, really nice contributions to everything because that's what again, that's what it was, right? That was what it was for. Um,
Exactly. We brought food to donate. We
mhm.
obviously got our tickets to support
Yep.
the raffle, the
Mhm.
merch, everything. And so I think it'll help, and to be more organized, and the fans who are actually supporting the cause.
Right. Mhm.
So Yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to
No,
say?
I think we're it. Listen, thank you for getting on early. I know
Absolutely.
you're so tired. You probably can't even think straight. But it was really wonderful seeing you and your wife and everyone else yesterday. And again, I can't wait for 2024. I said I'm saving my money because we're going on tour too.
Exactly. And I tell my wife when they announce those dates, get ready for booking flights, hotels, tickets, everything.
Exactly, exactly.
I
I
am
can't wait.
I
I
am
can't wait.
sure I will. I'm sure I will see you somewhere
You
next.
will. You will.
And
Absolutely will. You
till
will.
then, I will see you on. Don't
Yes, I was.
actually
Mhm.
do not get. I'm still learning Zoom here, so do not exit. Let
All
me
right.
record in
You,
here,
yeah, you do your thing.
and let's see here. So anyway, thank you again. Let me push stop.
No, it's wonderful seeing you. You're always so great.
I try my best. All
No,
right.
you are. You're